Jakey's DIs, Jakey's main rhythms. And this is a bit of a trick for you guys that are using, well, most of you guys doing metal should be double tracking your guitars. Some of you guys may be quad tracking. Alright, I don't know how well this helps for quad tracking, but for the double tracked guitars, if your guitars sound a little bit phasey, reversing the polarity on one of the tracks actually does wonders for the mix. And also the guitar tone, it cuts out the fades basically, it stops it being so phasey. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do here, is reverse the polarity on one of the guitar tracks and gain stage it again, just as we usually do. And I will assign them to tracks 20 and 21. That's what a DI guitar sounds like. Now, for guitars. We use, again, Neural DSP, right? We use Soldano, the Soldano amps made by Neural DSP, or the VST should I say. It's killer amp emulation. Sometimes, depends on the song, I might use the Fortin amp, I think it's the red one. That amp's okay, but the problem I've got with that amp, it's, I don't know, there must have been something different between when they made the Fortin amp and when they made the Soldano amp. The code must have changed, because when you load the Fortin amp in, if you load like 4 of those suckers in, it's literally like gang-banging your CPU, basically. I can load in about 12 Soldano amps before my computer freezes. Like, no joke, I can run 12 guitar tracks, Soldano amps on every single one of them. Something changed, right? So, Neural DSP, the guys who make Neural DSP, the guys who run the company, if you're watching this, can you please release an update, right? Please release updates for these amps. You can't have people paying over 150 euros, right? I'm saying this as an Australian, right? Yeah, good old Australian. Right? Australian, our dollary dues are worth nothing, so we pay double, right? So I've got the right to complain. You can't have people pay over 150 euros, right, for a plug-in that rightfully they're going to own, right, all the time, but not release updates for it, okay? That's how I know that when I bought the Fortin amp, I bought an outdated amp. When I loaded it in and I saw this little megabyte counter shoot up to about 700 megabytes. Like, it was crazy, right? It was 7,000, should I say. I don't know. It was crazy, right? Computers started freezing, all that sort of stuff. So, please, Neural DSP, we love you guys to the edge of the earth. Please sponsor us, and please update your amps. This is a PSA from the metal community, from us to you guys, alright? You've taken all of our money, you've given us wonderful amps, you've made the metal community crazy, and you've killed Axe-Fx. Thank you very much for that, okay? But we just need one thing from you guys. We need updates. And for Gibson to go and die in their fucking hole. You can tell Mickey woke up and chose violence today. Okay, so now I'm going to drag in the Soldano Neural DSP amps. Start, like, if you've got dual guitar tracks, just on one at a time. Please, like, don't try and mix them both at the same time. You won't get what you want, you won't get the tone that you want. Just dial them in separately and be purposeful about what you're dialing in, right? So we'll drag in the amp. Now, we've got our own presets for this Neural ESP Soldano amp. If you guys like our tones, feel free to let us know in the comment section. Drop us a like down the bottom. And we very well make these tones available to you guys. These are tones that have been constructed and dialed in by our very own Jakey over here. He dialed in the amp setting and I handled the mic placement on the thing. So these are Alas tones. These are the tones that you hear on Skeleton Bed Sheets, up on the punk side, Blood Rose, and our most recent single, Shell Shocked, out now. I would love to say in all stores, but we're not living in 2002, it's 2022. So on all streaming services, make sure you guys go listen to that, and make sure you guys watch the video. I'll put a link for it down in the crotch. Okay, do we still call it the crotch?
Comment section?
We can't call it the crotch anymore, can we? That was a Shane Dawson thing, we can't call it the crotch. I'm sorry guys. To anyone that has been traumatized by that man, I'm sorry for bringing it up. That's some old YouTube thing, I'm trying to remove it from my system. Damn, and YouTube pre-2016 was wild, guys. You just had to be there. You just had to be there. We're going to use a factory setting that I like using. It's called Papa Chug. I call it Papa Het. Mickey blow the speakers up in its place. This is what it sounds like, but I like to get a noise gate on it, just to tighten it up a little bit. Right, and it doesn't really sound like much right now, but remember the Chris Lord Algae plugins? Yeah, we're about to bring those back into play. Alright, we're going to use the Chris Lord Algae, the CLA guitar plugin right now in mono stereo. Alright, so we'll drop that off the Soldano, and I will use my preset for rhythm guitars for this. So now it's gone from sounding like this to this. So this is the rhythm guitar tone that you hear on Skeleton, up on the punk side, Blood Rose, Shell Shock. This is the rhythm guitar tone. This is my rhythm guitar tone. So basically all it is to it is plus 2.5 treble boosted, about, I think it's plus 2 bass boosted, compressed just a smidge, because you don't want to compress guitars too much. They're already compressed. The signal coming from a guitar is a compressed signal, right? It's always compressed. I don't know if you can hear my computer too, but now it's deciding to do a PS4 jet engine clean out, so don't mind that if I have to talk over it. Reverb, dial it back a bit, and I've got it on a hall setting, so it kind of sounds a bit wide, right? But I might take that off for this song, right? Because this sort of song, it doesn't really need reverb on the rhythm guitars. And I got no delay, and if I'm using just one guitar track, I'll use this stereo feature, but if I've double tracked my guitars, I'll switch it off. So it goes from sounding like this to this. Just straight rhythm tone, right? That's all you need. Now, all I'll do from here basically is just drag in another EQ, bring in another cut. I actually will just do, I think that's a high pass cut or whatever you want to call it. And I'll cut it at about 85 hertz, right? So it gives the guitar, that gives the rhythm guitar, especially the low end on it, some room to sort of meld in with the bass. It's sort of what you want. You want things to sort of intermingle if you want things to hit together. I don't touch the high end. I leave the high end because, like I said, this is metal. We've got no other instruments. The only other thing that's going to fill that space in the very, very high end are the cymbals. So if you want to reinforce it a little bit more, if you want it to be a little bit more there, I don't cut the fizz out of your guitars. You know, if you set your amp right, you shouldn't really have fizz in your guitar anyway. So yeah, that's sort of how I do it when it comes to guitars. Now we got a clean guitar. Bring it down a bit. And actually I'll make sure I'll set these all to the same level. Now I'll do the same to the other guitar track and I'll stereo it, which means panning one hard left, panning one hard right, and show you how that sounds. It goes from sounding like this, which is a mono track in stereo, to sounding like this. You guys learning too? You guys are getting this for free. You're not learning anything. I know you're not learning.
Here and there, pick up.
Here and there. Come back into it.
That's it.
Remember where you're at. I'm quick, boys. I'm quick.
Effective.
Efficient. Alright. Now we got two separate VIs. Running through the same amp settings, the same EQ and all that sort of stuff. Now, you heard how that just sounded. Pan one left, pan one right. Please, if you're listening, if you make metal, listen to this. Much more full. Now, all we got to do is balance it with the bass and the drums. I have to say I had it pretty well mixed without even listening to it. So those are our rhythm guitars. As you can tell, they hit quite hard, and they also hit quite hard with the bass. The bass is pretty prominent through those rhythm guitars the whole way through. That's what you call heavy, alright? Heavy doesn't come from drop-tuned 8 strings. Heavy comes from your bass. Heavy comes from your riff, alright? If your riff is heavy, you are heavy. Okay, guys? Okay, you metal guys? Okay, you gent motherfuckers? Okay? All of you metalcore punks, are you listening, alright? Drop-tune 000 riffs are not heavy. Metallica made their whole career in the 80s playing in standard. Have you heard Injustice for All? Put on Eye of the Beholder. Someone slapped half these men upside the head with Master of Puppets, alright? Have you heard Peace Sells? You can be heavy in standard, alright? I'm sick of these metal elitist dudes thinking that people aren't heavy because they don't play in freaking drop Z flat, alright? Fuck you guys in your drop Z flat, okay? I'm gonna play in my drop D. I'm gonna play in my D standard, alright? I'm gonna shove standard riffs down your throat, alright? I'm gonna play funk in standard, alright? You can't be funky in drop C. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright? Half of you guys are missing the point to metal, alright? Metal's funk, metal's fun, alright? Metal's not all about just fucking... You guys sound like freaking programmed MIDI tracks, half of you dudes playing guitar. Okay, how about you guys actually strum it? Don't edit your shit. Don't edit nothing anymore, alright? We'll go back to the old days where we played real riffs, alright? We'll go back to the old days, okay? The stuff that you guys are doing is not bad, but it's been done already, alright? It was done in the early 2000s and late 90s, alright? It was done by Limp Bizkit and Korn. It was done by Pantera. It was done. It was done. You guys, try something different. Try something different. Try playing some real music, okay? Try learning something written by Zakk Wylde. Try learning something good, okay? Please, I'm sick of seeing you motherfuckers with headless guitars playing your fucking Smoke on the Water. I'm just joking. I love half of your shit. Like, keep playing the Smoke on the Water, guys. It's okay. It's okay. You're talentless hacks. Alright, so I'm just about to add some rhythm guitars to it. Not really rhythm guitars, but some extra guitars, I guess you could say. And just mixing those in right now. I've already dialed in the tone. It's a similar tone. And I want these guitars to sit under the main guitars, right? I don't want them sitting over the top, because what they're playing is in a much higher octave than what the rhythm guitars are playing in. So if I mix them over the top of the original guitars, they'll actually be perceivably much louder than they are. So if you mix them a bit quieter, they will be perceivably still loud, but not overpowering. And what I might do on the guitar bust is just add a boost around the mid-range. So I'll drag in my parametric EQ. I put that boost around 1K, right? I never really used to do this on the Alas tracks, and I kept wondering why we were lacking mid-range power in our masters, and obviously, like I mentioned earlier, there's a reason why. If you don't fix these things in the mix, you can't fix them in the master. So fixing these things in the mix will obviously help. Even if it's just what I've done here, just a little EQ on the guitar sub-bus, so all the guitars are being affected by this at once. Don't put this on every single individual guitar. Save your time, save your energy. Put it on the sub-bus and affect all the guitars at once, and that's how you'll be able to drag out a bit more mid-range out of the guitars. Don't put it on the master, because you're not trying to drag mid-range out of the bass, guitars and drums at the same time, which essentially is what you're doing when you're trying to fix this type of thing in the master, right? You want to focus on individual things. So if your mid-range is what needs work, then you need to go and look at your guitars, or look at your piano, or look at your keyboard, look at your vocals even. If your sub is out of whack, then you need to go look at your bass, look at your kick, look at anything that sits low in the sub, right? If your highs are out of end, maybe you need to go look at your cymbals. Again, look at the piano, look at your guitar amp settings, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of things that you can look at individually to fix that overall master mix and the overall mastering experience. You can master a song, not even joking, in 10 minutes if the mix is really, really good. If the mix is nice, then it's a beauty to master. It's absolutely a dream to master. So yeah, I can't emphasize that enough. Get it right the first time round. By the end of it, you should have a track that's looks like it's somewhat been mixed by, a professional. professional. What I like to do with these buses, right, is I'll bring them down on FL Studio to about 30% volume on each of them, right? And this just ensures that now I'm not really peaking above minus 18 dB. Now minus 18 dB here on FL Studio, to my knowledge, is around about, it's in the ballpark of minus 23 LUFS, which is what you want to submit your mixes to the mastering stage at. That's how loud you want your mixes to be. There's a lot of debate, there's a lot of, you know, hoopla going around on the internet about how loud your mixes should be. You can go on forums and all that sort of stuff. A lot of people will say different things, but professionals will always say they prefer their mixes submitted at minus 23 LUFS. That's different to RMS, right? I don't necessarily understand the technicals of it too much. All I know is if you submit your mixes at minus 23 LUFS, or even slightly lower, like minus 25, you should actually be able to pull out quite a dynamic master. If everything's not blasting loud in the mix stage as well, you will get a nice dynamic master off the bat. Don't submit your mix at minus 16 or anything like that, and all that sort of stuff. So we are finished, guys. That is it. That is how we record a track from start to finish. We have been here maybe for about 2 hours. When I'm doing this by myself, I get into my flow. Like, if I'm mixing track after track after track in a day, I can probably mix in about a song in about 30 minutes each. But that's if I'm just working like, you know, an Adderall addict. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the mixing of Panterrorist. This song will be available very, very soon. I've got the lyrics done for it. I'm sure you guys will dig this shit. Okay, you guys will dig this shit. This shit's gonna hit you in the chest. It's gonna make you rethink the way you listen to metal. Alright? Half of you guys in Sydney, half of you metal bands in Sydney right now making metal. It's gonna inspire you dudes to become better bands. Like you guys inspire us to become metal bands. Like you guys inspire us to become better bands. I wish I could become a better speaker. But yeah, it's all love at the end of the day. We love you guys, the metal community especially, even though you guys are some of the worst motherfuckers to entertain. Yeah, I'm talking to you guys, you guitar players that are looking at Jake's amp settings while he's just trying to play, critiquing, oh yeah, he's shouldn't have duct tape here and stuff like that. Yeah, we love you guys, we love you guys. The metal community wouldn't be the same without you guys. So yeah, anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this. We hope you guys enjoyed the jokes and my weird, stupid sense of humour. We have been alive like a suicide. I hope you have enjoyed this vlog. If it's become too long, you're watching the second part of the vlog right now, so I'll leave it at that. Alright, have a good one, guys.